Hi guys, so this is another catalog that I have. This is a 1950 Zurn catalog, and most of us think of Zurn and we think of flushometers, but I think they only started making flushometers back in the 80s, and what they've made for a long time is like all kinds of plumbing fittings, stuff like that. But they've also make wall-hung toilet carriers, all kinds of carriers for toilets and sinks and urinals. So you can get an idea of what the carriers look like. That metal thing is the carrier that's bolted to the floor, or in this case it has that little foot that's buried under the floor. And then there's bolts that stick out. There's a drain connection. The toilet slips over the bolt, and then it secures with cap nuts all the way around. The whole thing is independent of the actual bathroom wall. And so there's some kind of cool pictures in here. And you'll see various toilets in this catalog for display and fixtures just from random companies because they're just for display only. Sloan didn't have any stake in plumbing fixtures at this time. As you can see, it looks like a Crane Walton there. And that's a row of carriers for, looks like a couple toilets, and then maybe over there some urinals or sinks. And there's a long row of toilets for a stadium bathroom. They look like Crane Waltons. That's a lot of toilets. You'll notice that a lot of the piping from being the 50s is a lot of it's cast iron, and some, like these vent branches, are probably galvanized steel. You'll see some carriers are actually designed to be back to back. So there's a faceplate here that bolts onto a like a Y fitting. This is the drain pipe. There'd be another one on that side, and it would allow you to have back-to-back toilets for men's and women's room, or maybe a large bathroom where you've got a whole island in the bathroom with toilets on either side. And you can see why these carriers, I mean, they're big metal fittings. You can see why that would add to the cost, the initial cost of a wall-hung toilet installation. But wall-hung fixtures are easier to clean in the long run. you'll see 4-bolt siphon jet carriers and 3-bolt blowout carriers. You can see on the blowout that the outlet is between the top 2 bolts. On the siphon jet, the outlet is between the bottom 2 bolts. And something else that's kind of interesting is you'll see this is called a faceplate. This is what the toilet actually bolts to. It's got the bolts and the drain nipple. And then there's some kind of a T. This is a drain fitting that bolts up to the back of it. And when this bolts onto the faceplate, it's adjustable up and down. That's why these slots are here, and that's why the drain hole is kind of an oval shape. And something that's kind of cool is what that does is, this is a picture of like a row of 5 toilet carriers, and that line represents a horizontal or a level line. That lets you install the toilets all at the same height from the floor, and yet the drain pipe behind the wall can be sloped, because drain pipes all have to be sloped so that the water flows downhill. That way each successive toilet doesn't have to be installed lower and lower to allow the water to flow through the pipe. That's actually a Kohler Kingston from the 40s. That is the drawing that you'd find in a 40s Kohler catalog. And that's an Instanto. There's a Glencoe. There's a Rapidway. There's a Backspud 40s Kingston. That looks like an Instanto. And that is a Kohler Suffield toilet, probably a 40s version. That's a very rare toilet. surgeon's wash-up sink. That's a pretty specialized fixture. You'll notice that's the faucet. It's meant so that you put your knee inside that U-shaped piece of metal and you can switch hot or cold. Because you can't, if you're a surgeon, you're scrubbing your hands, you can't be touching faucets while you're sterile. So that's pretty cool. And here's a service sink carrier. And that is a really old Kohler Camerton with an old Sloan Royal too. And this catalog is too early, but they did also make carriers for female urinals. I think these are for those weird marine blowout toilets. Toilet Fan 1 has filmed a few of those kind of toilet. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later.